All right, welcome back to Rivals on the Pitch podcast. So much to cover today. Match week 18, 19, going to 20. It's got some movement on the mini league. Lots to talk about, lots to cover. How are you guys feeling after this crammed schedule, which is technically not even done yet. We have some pending games.
Yeah, it's currently, still more to go.
Yeah, it's currently Sunday. We have some games on Monday and on Wednesday. We had lots to get through. So how are you guys feeling?
Me personally, I'm feeling great. You'll see that and you'll feel it during the podcast, but that's my take. The holiday seasons are still kicking for me.
I can't wait until 2025 starts.
Just to get more of it, like a whole another year of this?
2025 is our year.
Be specific.
I can't wait to forget December of 2024. This has been it's been a month to forget for sure.
Month to forget for Spurs fans.
You know, drink a lot of eggnog, all right? So maybe that or coqui or whatever you drink. Aguardiente to forget.
Coquito, aguardiente, tequila.
Yeah, bro.
Bleach.
Yeah,
bleach.
There you go.
Coca-Cola and Mentos.
Yeah, I think that works.
I should do it.
And what about you?
I'm feeling decent. You know, it's weird. After Arsenal chasing for the last 2 years, I hate feeling like we're already out of it. But you know, anything could happen. We got a whole half a season left. If Alan believes that they can get second,
I'm gonna quote you on that.
Clip it. But it's just weird. It's just like a little demotivating, you know. But it's okay.
It's sort of. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but I mean, it feels like you're getting your stuff together, and then a setback. It's just, you know, what. Yeah. We'll get more into that later on.
Yep.
But.
All right, so let's dive in. So we'll start with match week 18, which started on December 26th, and first game of the day, bright and early, was Manchester City at home hosting Everton, and it ends in a 1-1 draw. Shocker or no? Is this the new norm?
I just think because of the outcomes that have been happening so far, it's not a shocker at all. I think it's just become the new norm, honestly.
Yeah, I think this also speaks volume to Everton. It's kind of how we were saying last episode, where they're stubborn. They're not going to go anywhere, and they're proving the point that they're not. You know, they're here next season, so good on them.
Yeah, looks like they've gotten a new wind under their sails, and they're pushing along and saying, you know, we're not going to go down easy.
Yeah,
and then Pickford also showing out again.
Yeah, man of the match.
Yeah,
with that saved penalty kick.
Absolutely, Haaland.
But I also think it was a poorly taken penalty kick, but still, he did what he needed to do.
Yep.
So it's just Man City just piling up on each other, huh? It's just all these mistakes piling up.
I think that was a penalty taken by a player that's
Haaland,
not in a good, you know, mental space.
In the best of
form. So I love it.
Yeah, of course we do. We all love it.
Yep. All right, the second game of the day, we had a couple 10 a.m. games, a couple at the same time. Bournemouth against Crystal Palace, and it ends 0-0. To our surprise, I think Bournemouth could have done something here.
Yeah,
not much.
No, not at all. It's funny because these are the results we were expecting from Crystal and not from Bournemouth, but we'll see.
And then we move on to Chelsea against Fulham. Chelsea hosting at the Bridge, and they lose to a late goal by Fulham, who take all 3 points. This was a good game. I think
this was unexpected, honestly. But how does Cole Palmer get man of the match when you're on the losing end?
All right.
Harry Wilson, you know, he's showing up when he needs to show up.
It's one of those matches where I'm glad Fulham won because I was rooting for Fulham, but I didn't want to see Chelsea drop points and, you know, kind of lose that steam while they're catching up to Liverpool because it was going to make it a good race. But,
you know, I kind of agree. Even though this is what helped Arsenal take back second place, I almost, because they were closer to Liverpool than we were, I kind of wanted them to continue putting pressure on them. You know what I mean? If there's two teams chasing, just makes things a lot more funner, you know, whether we win it or not.
And, you know, right. To be honest, I was a little more terrified because Chelsea were on form. They were closing that gap. They were playing well, but it's nice to have them a little stumble. But I believe, it would have been made for more an entertaining season title run with Chelsea if they would have won this.
Well, like I said, still whole half a season left. It's, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Yeah, a lot of season left. Yeah.
For other teams, not for yours, Alan, but for other teams.
So then we move on to our highlight game of the week, and this was also. I think we expected Newcastle to hold their own at home and to take all 3 points against Aston Villa with 3 goals. And we had a red card for Aston Villa as well, which was a little controversial, some might say.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get into this because it's hard. It could have gone any other way. That's the thing.
It didn't look intentional to me, but it is a weird one because it just seemed like you could have done anything to avoid the whole. But yeah, it was just an odd one for. I don't remember, was the red card given straight away or was it a VAR overturned decision?
That I have to. I don't honestly recall that.
I know it was reviewed by VAR. I don't remember it was a straight card from, but regardless, they had to have reviewed it by VAR, and and that's the thing about these calls. It's sometimes, sometimes they review it, and then the letter of the law is if it's unless it's a obvious error, then they just let it stand. But not always goes that way because sometimes they go into such fine detail, and VAR takes like a whole 5 minutes out of a game. So at that point, it's like if it's not obvious, clear and obvious error, why are we reviewing a play for more than 5 minutes? So that's where it gets me sometimes. Where again, it's just the consistency of calls sometimes. And I get that games differ from game to game, but this was a play that could have happened in any game, regardless of the circumstance. So, but Newcastle.
But what do you think? For me, I think it was just. It's hard to switch your foot in mid. It's hard to step somewhere else. It was like a continuous motion. It's like you're running. Regardless, you're gonna step on the guy. But I didn't see him jabbing his foot into him. So for me, I think it was harsh for red, but I understand the logic of it. But it's hard to change.
I think it was harsh. Yeah,
positions like that.
I don't. I'm not complaining, I guess. But
yeah, and I think
it was harsh,
and it affected the game, as you can see right after that.
When you slow it down or you do a still frame of it, it always looks worse.
That's very true, and that's what I'm saying. It's sometimes when you review it, it's just for so long. It's just like, I mean, come on,
Yeah,
like Randy said, Newcastle take advantage of all of this. They were already a goal up by this point, but it could have been anyone's game at that point.
And to win at and to win away at that stadium, St. James Park, it's hard enough as it is, and with 10 men, you're just making it much more impossible.
Yep. Good game overall, though. I liked it.
Yeah, but I didn't expect the outline. To be a 3-0 game, but it was a good game.
Yep. Moving into another good game, Nottingham Forest at home, hosting Tottenham Hotspur, and they take all 3 points by one goal. Maybe Alan can explain how.
Not a good game.
Okay.
That's it. Not a good game. Next game.
Now I know why these blue jerseys. They're such bad luck because they have these Man City vibes to them that we're playing like them. We're playing like the 2024, 2025 Man City. So obviously we're going to lose. Poor performance. This game kind of reminded me of the previous game we had against Bournemouth, where just wasn't a whole lot of fight. We had most of the possession, but we just couldn't do anything with it. And it's not something that I can turn around and blame the defense on this one because we had so many chances on offense that we weren't putting a place together the way we needed to. Nottingham Forest, when they countered, it was very effective counter, especially the goal that they got with Ilanga. That dude is quick. Not even Adogi could keep up with him. Maybe if we had our center backs, that could have been Van der Ven could have closed down on them. But it's the fact that we're letting these, the lack of possession in the midfield, not finishing in the final third. It's coming to kind of it's biting us in the butt. It's what's happening, and we just lack creativity. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating to watch this team right now. I know there's players on the field probably fatigued, but it's just like we have nothing left. It's. I know Nottingham Forest. I mean, I think they sit second now. They're a good side, but I felt like we could have beat them or at least tied, but we didn't have. It's like we had nothing in the tank left for them, and it's just a bad showing overall and extremely frustrating. Like I said, I just can't wait for this month to be over and we move into the transfer window. Hopefully we get some good news, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't have many words for this game and for the next one, to be honest. But
and a red card for Spence, who was already basically a backup player.
Yep. I mean, but at late minute, that's just playing, I guess, out of anger of how the result was ending.
I mean, I think it was just a bad second foul. I think it was a double yellow, uncalled for. But at that point, yeah, I mean,
it's just frustration, and you could see it, throughout the match. The second half, we picked up a bit of steam that second half, but we just couldn't finish. And I know Brendan Johnson actually had a pretty good game, but like I said, it was just. It's one time those few games you watch, some people might believe in luck and some might not, but it almost felt like luck was against us or against Brandon Johnson. Nothing was going in, some days they go for you, sometimes against you, but it's not coming down to that. I can't blame luck for this loss. It's a deserved win for Forest. They're the ones that took the opportunity, made the best of a opportunity, and they ended up winning 1-0. So.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was one goal, but I mean, they had about just as many shots as you guys did, considering you had most of the possession.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like, they took advantage of that,
Okay.
Out of the 3 shots, they made 1, We made 0 out of the 4, so they did what they had to do, and a tie would have been... If we would have won, it would have been deserved, It's one of those where... it's just frustrated with this team right now.
Anjin. We want Anjin, right, Randy?
All 3 of us do. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, hey. If he's gonna keep producing like this, Anjin,
yeah.
Okay.
He's our new Eric Tahaki.
Yeah, he's a new ETH.
I want you to.
He's a new
clip it. Yeah, clip it, because guess what? That's gonna come and bite you guys.
Okay.
You're gonna be crying.
You wish.
Ange out. They won 4 in a row. It's the next Pep.
That's going to be a new record if they win 4 in a row.
Yeah, good luck, mate. He's the new Pep right now with their form there.
Someone's going to scratch that face. So moving on to Southampton hosting at home against West Ham United. And West Ham get the 3 points with 1 goal. West Ham looking like they're losing a little bit of steam there. I mean, it was a win for them overall, but Southampton, you would think with the players that they have, I mean, Bowen's been pretty decent. I know they don't have Mikel Antonio, but they also have Kudus, who's fantastic, Paquetá, and they have creativity. They have good players, and it's not there. It's not showing.
Southampton with a new manager, right? And Aaron
Ramsdale back.
Yeah. So maybe they got a little fight in them too.
I think Aaron Ramsdale gives them a good chance.
Yeah, he does.
But the other players have to produce. There's only so much a good goalkeeper can do.
Speaking of, Southampton have a Chilean player, right?
They do? Oh yeah, we do. They do. Brereton Diaz, yeah.
Diaz. Yeah. How do you feel about that guy? Would you buy his jersey?
It'll be cheap because they're going to get relegated.
I mean, he was picked up on loan. He went over to Spain, Sevilla, and didn't get a lot of playing time. So then he got picked up by Sheffield United last season when they were struggling, and he was a fantastic player. So that's to keep him in the Premier League. I guess Southampton picked him up, but he just hasn't seen a lot of playing time. I think he's a good player, but he's just I don't think he's the coach's type. So I think he should leave. Go if he could go back to the championship. I think he would get much more playing time and probably a lot of success. He's a young player, but like I said, he's not doing much at Southampton, unfortunately. So no jersey for me.
But then again, no one is doing much at Southampton.
All right, moving on to
where's Shakira? Lobo.
So Wolves at home win 2-0 against Amorim's new and improved Manchester United.
I don't think they're not even new and they're not even improved.
But Cunha with the Olympico goal, and he made that whole defense and goalkeeper of Manchester United look silly. They just, and I will say they did kind of do that move, block the keeper. There's a lot of teams now that are taking Arsenal's set piece tactics, and I don't want to say any names, but some teams decides they don't want to walk alone, so they're taking other teams' tactics.
Don't score alone.
If you watched us in preseason, you would have saw that we were the first ones to do it. So I mean, you got to look back into your history to see it.
One is tactical, and then the other thing doing one thing one time. You know what I mean? It's just like.
But we don't have to do your corners when we can score and open play, which is something you're still figuring it out to do. Mm-hmm. But let's get back to Wolves with the well-deserved win. My Wolves are back. I'm happy for them. They're out of the relegation. This is the Wolves. They finally woke up. But, the question is, will Manchester United wake up?
Bruno with another red card.
Another red card, double yellow, yeah.
He looked like he was playing frustrated too. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was just...
It's getting to him, man.
He's reverting back to his old Bruno with the Ten Hag, where he just almost uninterested to play. He's a good player, so I mean, he doesn't show it in his quality. I don't think that it's showing it as his quality, but when he plays, you could just tell, things are just not looking. He looks bothered sometimes by the way the team plays.
But the thing is, you're the captain. This is not a good captain display. If you see your boss, your captain acting like this way, that's going to trickle down to the other players as well.
Yep. And
it's not a good look. You have to be the one who's composed and do all these things. And if he's getting 2 yellow cards, how many red cards does he have this season already? It's not a good look. I'd be surprised if he doesn't stay captain for the next season, but I just think it's a bad look for him, honestly. You got to be composed. You can't let this get to you.
I think the quality of players and it could have been Erik Ten Hag, but the quality of players that were brought to Manchester United, in my opinion, are not Manchester United level players. So I'm curious to see whoever I'm sure they'll try to bring someone in the January window. I mean, a new manager, they're obviously struggling. So I think they have no choice but to, put the hand in their pocket.
But who would you buy?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wonder what's going to be the selling point for them is new manager, new tactics. You can help us turn this thing around, play our game, or is it going to be look at where they are? They need much more help. I don't want to go over there and waste my time, and then possibly at the end of the season be a bench player because the coach has figured it out with different players, or you know what I mean.
And I understand it's Man United, the name. You're still one of the biggest clubs in the world, but the way you're playing, it doesn't show it. So I mean, for me, it would be a turnoff to go to Man U. I'd probably wait for them to be in a better position.
Well, don't worry, they're not calling
you. Into this struggling,
yeah.
but I just don't think it's a good. I don't see there's a draw to be for Man United at the moment.
No,
you have a new coach, but I just don't. Those players don't seem to gel for me. They don't have that sort of chemistry.
Yeah. Yep. But Cunha, goal and an assist in this game. They were playing well. I mean, I watched this game and Nori as well. They were just tearing it up, playing little 1-2s. It's almost like they were in the playground, just bossing it around.
But it's
United
good to
players.
see them. Yeah, but this is the Wolves I expected though to see.
Kind of going back on the Man United stuff and the transfer. What do you guys think about the whole Marcus Rashford stuff going on and being, what is this the third game he's not on the starting lineup, or included, not even on the bench? Is he going out this January transfer window or what?
I think in the summer he's gone 100%.
I don't think they can afford to lose him right now because I don't think they'll be able to bring in players. I agree. I think he goes in the
But
summer.
they're not even using him.
He could.
Injuries might happen, but he could come back.
I think it's possible he goes because he's not playing, so he could push it.
Kind of how you were saying, how is this club being a selling point? What's the selling point for this club when you got Marcus Rashford not even being included in your squad?
He's been there for like 20 years.
So what do you think? How do you think I'm going to be treated? If I go on that, if I sign a deal with Man United, or if they're coming to get me, I'm thinking, you know what? If I'm not good enough in the first few games, am I going to be scratched as well? Am I going to be sitting on the bench? But I don't know.
That's very true. Yep.
I mean, but I just think the whole Man United thing, is just in shambles. Like they're cutting this almost like a retirement fund for like ex Man United players.
Yep.
They dropped that down. I think like the Christmas gifts, they cut the bonus down. But it's like you're doing it in the wrong way. I would do it with your players. You have so much players that are on high wages. That's what you're looking for. Those guys who are you're working in the corporate office, they have nothing to do with what is being done on the field. I just think it's a bad look for them. And then doing this with Marcus Rashford and all the stuff that's going on, it's just not a good look for Man United.
That's why regardless of trophies, that's why I give Arteta a lot of credit because that's essentially what he cleaned up. We maybe not so far down on the table, but we were in that position once Wenger left, and we had a lot of players on high wages, older players who, good or not, you had to start them, whether they were playing well or they were doing horrible. I mean, we had Lacazette who was on basically a dry streak, no goals. Aubameyang who was basically not showing up, and these players were on high wages, and you couldn't afford to bench them, and that's hard to clean up. So that's why I give Arteta credit, and trophies or not, you got to give him credit for what he's done at Arsenal. I think that's what Manchester United need. They basically need to clean house, but on the field,
that's a big task.
But we'll see what happens. I think this summer is going to be a big turning point for them. You got a lot of players like Harry Maguire. You're going to have to make a decision on Marcus Rashford. All these things.
Anthony.
It's and I don't know the defenders you got. Anthony is the biggest. He's a record signing. He's one of the highest wage players on salary there, and you're not using him. You got to find a way to sell him. But who wants to take that wage that he's on? He's going to have to take a pay cut, and it's just he's right now. I don't think there's a market for a fidget spinner. Who wants that?
I mean, he has been getting more playing time, but I just think his time in the Premier League is done. I think he would have to look elsewhere if he wants to play. Maybe Italy.
Yeah, or go back to the Netherlands or something. But
or Arsenal,
or wherever. But yeah, they have a lot of players that they got to trim that squad and get the right players in.
Yeah, I mean not Arsenal because Eze probably bench him and Isaac too. So
we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, right now, Arsenal need because Saka's out. I think Anthony fits in perfectly in that spot.
So, actually, you might need it because so many players leaving. Chiesa one's out.
That's Liverpool. Was.
All right. Moving on. We had last game of Thursday, December 26th, and that was Liverpool at home hosting Leicester City. Leicester City did open it up with the first goal, but then Liverpool basically just took over, tied it up at right before the half, and then 2 more goals to make it 3-1 at the end. Mo Salah, again, another goal by Mo Salah. He's unstoppable this season.
Yeah, he is. He's Christmas cursed my ass, bro. He's post another picture of the Christmas tree, please.
It's delayed effect.
He's doing well. Yeah. Delayed effect. I think it's working for us. I know people look into it too much, but I just think Arne Slot's got us playing well. Yes, Jordan Ayew scored a goal, but we came back and the main players showed up. Curtis Jones scoring, Mohamed Salah, I mean, every goal they scored was beautiful. Cody Gapco, that from outside of the box or around the box, just shooting it to the corner, it was beautiful. Just love how everyone's playing at home. That's what you're supposed to expect when you're playing at Anfield. When you're and they just know they can't afford to lose points, and they're doing what they need to do to keep the gap open. I mean, to keep the gap as wide open as we can. But it's a good showing from Liverpool. Even though we go down a goal, we still fight, and we got the 3-1 win.
Yeah, 1-1 at halftime. With Leicester not having their senior striker or their first string goalkeeper. Oof.
Yeah, it's basically bullying.
Like that would help.
Yeah, it's basically just you could have scored as many goals as you wanted, but sounds like
only 3. Wow. Yeah.
Well, you want us to score 6 like we did against you?
Oh, but we scored 3, so it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, just get to the next game and you'll see that we did score more, but we'll see.
All right. So we move on to Friday, December 27th. We opened it up with Brighton at home against Brentford, the Birds and the Bees.
Woohoo!
Are we going to have that song?
Yeah, unfortunately, no magic here as the game ended 0-0.
You see how that 0-0, that face that makes?
Yeah.
That's me. This is me watching the game.
But yeah, there was a goal here, I believe, by Brentford, which is eventually ruled out by VAR. But an uneventful game. I think we expected a few more sparks of Brentford that's trying to climb up the table and a Brighton that's trying to stay at the top of the table. Fortunately, no luck here for either team.
Yeah, not very exciting game. Kind of like the other one.
This one that we're coming up.
Yeah, another one that was that could have been different, but I mean, we'll let Pat explain because you know how he likes to
explain why it was only 1 goal.
Okay, well at least we're winning by 1 goal and not losing by. But Arsenal at home, Arsenal at home hosting Ipswich Town. This was I will say, this is like frustrating. I know we don't have Saka, but we do have Odegaard, we do have playmakers, we do have chance creators, and we did do that. We created a lot of chances. Their goalkeeper was basically blocking everything. We did put one in early, which is what you need, and I expected there to be more. We kept the pressure on. I mean, we had basically most of the possession. I think I had 25 minutes into the game, Arsenal had completed 229 passes, and Ipswich Town had created just 11 completed passes. So that just goes to show the kind of game that we were looking at. Once we scored the goal, we figured it would open up, but they just continued to keep that low block and hope to get a counter. They had 3 shots, 0 on target the entire game. So I think we dominated this game, but it's just frustrating that we just couldn't put it away. We created plenty of chances. But the goalkeeper, hats off to him. He did a great job. Yeah, lots of foggy games. Very eerie.
Oh, okay. Wow. You want to throw in the weather in? But no, I mean, it wasn't Arsenal's best showing. But, you did get the win, which is great. But you mentioned all those passes. You would think there would be more of a bigger scoreline against a struggling Ipswich. But do you feel confident with that? Seeing that? I mean,
yeah, at the end of the...
Do you feel like you can make a title run still? Or at least be competitive? I mean, it was Ipswich, but...
It was a nervy game. And, we know that Ipswich has that, like, warrior mentality, They're just not willing to go down. I think we do need to work on creating... Well, that's the thing, is that we created plenty of chances, but the goalkeeper kept them out. There's a lot of weird blocks and stuff like that. So I think we just need to be... have a maybe finer shooting, but we did what he needed to do. And at the end of the day, it was a scrappy win, but it's a scrappy win. We're now in the second half of the season where points matter most. You know what I mean? You get the win however it comes. You know what I mean? If it's a sketchy penalty, like you'll take it when you're trying to make your, I think for any team, obviously Liverpool, if you want to stay top of the league, doesn't matter how you get 1 goal. If you win by 1 goal, you'll take all 3 points.
Okay, you hear that, guys? So I don't want to hear Pat or Alan talking about, that sketchy goal, that penalty kick. Here you hear it.
Well, no, it's because you talk so much about how beautiful Slot's game is,
It's all pens.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? What are you gonna say about Ange?
It's Ange. Well, is Ange Ball.
Ange Ball
I never said it was pretty.
depressing ball.
I never said it was pretty. It's attacking. Never said it was pretty.
I know. It's attacking, but where are you attacking? You're attacking middle of the table right now. That's it.
Hey, like Pat said, there's a whole another season, the whole another half of the season.
There is a solo season.
Yes, but that's for
Season doesn't end here.
but that applies to teams who actually have a chance, like
I
Arsenal.
hope you guys don't.
For you, what's the second half of the season for looking for you?
Randy, for your sake, I hope you guys don't bottle it. 'Cause I'm ready. I'm putting these.
You're ready. Wow. Ready for what?
I got ammunition. Don't worry.
You're gonna pop open that bottle. You're gonna pop that champagne for
Ooh,
me.
yeah, that bottle. And then I don't want to hear next season. Oh well, technically we weren't on top the whole time. Well, and we had a new manager. I don't want to hear no excuses.
I don't care. You have a lot of clips on me, and they ain't gonna be used.
2025 is around the corner. Don't worry. I have my New Year's resolution saved up for this. I'm eating all the grapes. Don't worry.
Anyway, but yeah, just to close it out, I Gabriel Magalhaes got a man of the match. I honestly think it should have been Lewis Skelly, who's our 18-year-old left back filling in for currently injured players. It has allowed Urian Timber to play on the right hand side where he's more comfortable, and he's done fantastic. But that's what you expect from a player like that. But on the left hand side, Lewis Skelly, 18-year-old left back, man, he's playing like he's played in this league before. And it's phenomenal to watch. I really hope that there's a spot for him because right now it's looking like Calafiori is going to have to earn his spot back. I don't think he's just going to walk right into it. So, but looking forward to it.
So, what's your take on the Calafiori signing? Because it sounds like you're not convinced anymore.
No, I'm convinced. I just think you play to how you play starting 11. If you're playing well, you know what I mean? And I just think when someone's giving you a fight, that's good. You want that kind of competition, you know what I mean?
But you want that from someone who's like almost the same age. You don't want it from like this young player.
Well, no, why not?
You spend how much on Calafiori?
Not that much.
And now it's just
not that much. Probably about as much as we spend when you spend on McAllister. And I think he's a fantastic player. I mean, he scored a wonder goal against City. He's done great so far. He's only 22, so he's still a young player. You know what I mean? 18 versus 22. Yeah, you expect a little more from the 22-year. But I'm not saying Calafiori is not that good because an 18-year-old like bagging him. I'm just saying the 18-year is playing above his.
And this is still his first season
exactly.
as well. So he needs time. He just came from the Serie A, so it's like I said, it's an adjusting period. But
I feel like
it's good to have competition.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like we got to the point where we're relying more and more on these young. We forget how young these players are. Like Calafiori, Dragusin, Skelly. It's like these guys are 17, 18, 22 is still young. And we've got to a point where we expect so much from these guys, especially in one of the most competitive leagues in the world, the most competitive league in the world, in my opinion,
Yeah, because even when they're 25, you don't expect that, at least, back when the 30 was like basically the cutoff for being an established player. 25, you would think they're still not even at their prime. Like you would think, 27, 28 is where it's at. So yeah, 22 is still very, very young. But like you said, I think so many teams are relying on these players. We forget sometimes that, just because they're not under 21, they're still not.
And then when a 17 or 18-year-old do it, it's pretty impressive because it's not just the physical, but the mental aspect of it.
Right.
Yeah. And playing those cup games does give them, a little more experience. So this is how it's going to sort of be when they get a chance to play in a Premier League game. They're not like thrown into the fire. At least they have some experience, but it's good for them.
Yep, exactly. Well, looking forward to that when we do get some of these players back from injury. All right, so moving on to Sunday, we had a couple of games starting off match week 19. Which is still ongoing for the next couple of days. We had quite a few games this Sunday, which we'll cover now. We started off with Leicester at home hosting Manchester City, who finally get their first win after so much struggling. Are they back?
No, it's the same team that Liverpool barely beat.
Oh, I want to want to throw shades. Well, let's see. Well, we'll get to your game soon. We'll get to your game soon. But I just, yeah, it's nothing. You're supposed to beat Leicester. It's a good look. They got a win. Haaland scored, but and Savinho, who hasn't scored at all, finally gets his first goal. So that's a confidence builder. But I just don't think Man City is going to go on a run from here on out. It was just a win. That's it. Don't get your hopes up.
At this point, I almost felt like a little happy for them. I was like, "Oh, that's great for them. Oh,
that's cute.
That's great underdog story."
You tied your shoes.
I think this is more of if they would have lost this, I think everybody would have lost their shit because it's Leicester, City who are battling relegation, and if you can't beat them, then you kind of start wondering when are they going to finally hit rock bottom, or they're just sinking ship, But
what if it was a draw?
If Southampton beats them,
what if it was a draw? I think if it was a draw, there'd still be a lot of murmurs. You start questioning a lot about this team, but
yeah, that's true.
But hey,
I mean, the window's going to open soon, and we'll see what they do. There's a lot of rumors, but we'll see what happens with the transfer window.
Yep.
But I just don't think Man City is going to make top four. I think they're still going to struggle, and the signings they buy, I don't think they're going to turn them into an automatic, title contender team. They're still going to struggle.
Manchester City in the Conference League. How does that sound?
Ooh, if
or in the Europa League if they're lucky. Oh man,
and then they're gonna
that music.
They're gonna have to follow up after we win it. Oh man.
Hey, you know what?
Hey.
All to play for.
Yeah. That'll be the one trophy he hasn't won yet.
So in the Champions League. Right? We'll see you in the Champions League after we win it. we don't have to place.
That's your only way in my opinion.
Nah, the table is still open. Okay. Table is still open.
But not for Spurs.
It is.
How's your prediction going? Every team that you want
already said second is not happening. I said that weeks ago.
Really? When?
Weeks ago.
Weeks ago,
I said second.
Pat, did you clip that? Because I don't remember hearing.
I said second is not achievable anymore, but top 5 is.
Top 5. Oh yeah, you did, because I said, why are you aiming for top 5? Because you don't even have faith you'll make top 4. Then go for Europa. That's great.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's
and then when you battle it, we'll see.
Ooh.
We'll see how you do against Wolves.
We'll see. Hey, we already have it. Don't worry about it. Hey, this is all happening in 2024. I'm about to forget about all this. Don't worry.
Getting your losses in now so that 2025 is all wins.
So January 1st, I'm like, what? That happened last year. Bring out the dad jokes.
Stop living in the past.
See you guys next year. I haven't showered since last year.
I can smell you from here through the mic. All right, so then we had Crystal Palace at home hosting Southampton, and they win 2-1. Goals by Eze, who's back now from injury. Ooh. Good for him. I hope he does.
He wasn't injured. I think he was touring the Tottenham facility.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, you got scared. Yeah. I hear you sweating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was looking for the trophy room and he couldn't find it, so he left.
Then we had Everton at home hosting Nottingham Forest. Couldn't keep up, and Forest take all 3 points with a 2-0 win. Forest, they're second place right now, awaiting Arsenal's game this Wednesday. They're second in the league, though.
Hats off to them, man.
Last season,
it's a nice story.
Last season, it was Brighton who was aiming for that top 4 spot, and everyone was saying, "Can they do it? Can they do it?" So, what do you guys think? Can they get top 4? Nottingham?
Chelsea and Arsenal have it. The 4th could be up in the air. Honestly, they can make it. I believe that Nottingham will get Europe.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like I said, it's a very long half of the season. I know some teams have already started to play their return legs for some of these teams that they've already faced, but still about 19, 18 games left.
But the people that you want to be on fire are on fire still. Chris Wood, he's still getting up there in the Golden Boot race. Gibbs White is still scoring goals. He's keeping that momentum going. the people that you need to stay hot, they're staying hot. So it's and to do it away at Everton with Pickford, who's been on form, congrats to them for that. It's hard to win out there, I bet, especially with Pickford being in form. But they were able to score.
Yeah, it must be hard to play at Everton. I guess Liverpool don't know because
they wouldn't know.
Yeah. We've played there so many times, but whatever. Okay,
and you lost the league. You lost the league there last season.
Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And they were saying it.
So did you. You guys lost the league
but
too.
You lost it at Everton, and this season, all of a sudden, when you're 2 draws in a row, and then you got to play Everton, all of a sudden, canceled game because of the rain. But then next game, just as much rain and no cancellations. That's weird.
Whatever.
Asterisk?
It's weird.
Asterisk?
Okay.
Yeah.
You love asterisks on everything.
Well, that's almost as bad as the Arteta COVID card.
Oh,
there you go. Whoa, wow. He wants to go way back.
Like, hats off to Nuno too, especially what he did with his team, because he obviously has part of the success. I think with his little spell in Spurs, he was treated unfairly. I felt like the club, everybody thought he wasn't big enough to run, to manage the club like Spurs. But he's here proving everything wrong, and
he also wasn't getting the results though, right?
No, but he wasn't getting. It's not just that. I mean, come on, he only spent like not even half a season. He was just a placeholder.
Exactly.
It wasn't fair.
They didn't give him the time,
and they knew he
a stab leak.
Yeah, he was a placeholder for now, and then going off to Saudi. I'm glad he's back because he is talented. He's a talented manager, and it goes to show maybe his tactics got better because he was very defensive, and they do counter attack a lot. And I think once that gets figured out, he might be a little bit in a difficult, tight spot, But he's Gibbs White, Chris Wood, who's I think he called him a championship striker, huh? Scoring a lot of goals, and then Anthony Elanga, that dude is quick. I saw him running. And
that's a former United player.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Elanga was a former United player. But I just think they're playing in beautiful soccer, so I feel like they'll be able to get good signings, especially if they make Europe.
If they make Europe, yeah, I think so too. Especially being a historical club too. So good on them.
Oh yeah, championship winnings. Yeah. So. It's a nice story for him to come back after having that failure with Spurs, to do it with the lower team and now look at where they're at. This is like their Leicester City type of story.
The good thing for them too, is they also don't have European, so them maintaining their place on the table is going to be a lot easier. They have rested players. We have a lot of football coming up and a lot of tournaments and a lot of cups. They don't have to deal with that. So good on them. They have an opportunity to stay on top.
Yep, they have to take advantage of that because they have all their players. They haven't suffered any major injuries as far as I know. At least not long term, so they have to take advantage of that for sure. But yeah, hopefully they do get Europe. I think it would be nice to see these kind of teams and those types of competitions. All right, moving on to our highlight week of the game. Fulham at home hosting Bournemouth, and it ends in a 2-2 draw, which is none of us predicted a draw from these teams. We all predicted wins for one way or the other. And it ends in a 2-2 draw. Fulham had the lead, early lead, and they had to. They made some changes, and then the goal came right after the changes, which is a shame. But Robinson man at the much again. I don't expect him to stay at Fulham past next summer. But
that Raul Jimenez goal, he was so open. There was no one covering him on that corner kick. It was a beautiful goal. But Robinson is just showing up, and he's Fulham. They're gonna probably have to sell him, but they're gonna get a good amount of change for him.
Yeah, definitely.
The way he's playing. But Dango Quattara with that last minute goal, it was beautiful setup, and then just a nice chip it over so elegantly.
Yeah,
and to get the draw this game was had beautiful goals. Even that what's it called? Evanson goal
Nielsen
was beautiful as well. Yeah, it was just pure class, man. It was a good thing that we picked this as the highlight game.
Yeah,
but it was worth it.
This result kind of demonstrates where these two teams are at. Where they've been this season too, though. Even though Fulham, I think they've drawn their last 5 or 4.
Right.
Let's see.
Right.
Oh no, they beat Chelsea, but So they've drawn and beat Chelsea.
But they drew against like Arsenal, Liverpool, so it's not like the draws were
right. And Bournemouth have beat City, Arsenal, and then some other teams.
But yeah, even game here. Possession was almost 50-50. Bournemouth had a few more shots, but Fulham did look like they controlled the game a little more. But Bournemouth on the counter, they're so deadly, and like Randy said, the goals are just fantastic. The last goal with the chip over the keeper was just class,
So you got these two teams. Who do you think loses the most players, Fulham or Bournemouth?
I think it'll depend where they end up. If one of them gets Europe and the other doesn't, I think whoever doesn't probably loses more. They'll be looking to cash in and then do with the cash just to maintain the same kind of intensity that they're going with. But whoever ends up with Europe, and if it's not both, because it could be both, they'll probably look to keep and then build on it, I'm sure.
I mean, each team do have players that are rumored to go into big teams. Like on Bournemouth, they have Kirkes, who's a left back, and then again, so is Robinson. So there are teams that are looking for left backs, but I just think that Fulham, have more quality players that are going to go for a higher price.
Yeah,
but then again, it's
Emil Smith Rowe,
depending. I feel like, I just think they're gonna. It's thinking about playing time. I think they'll get more playing time if they stay at their clubs where they're at, and if they move to another team, like I said. It might work out for them or not, but we'll see what happens.
Yep, I heard Leno, Emil Smith Rowe, and Iwobi have been linked to Arsenal, so we'll see. No, just kidding.
Go back to the they won his back.
Yeah, hoping they get top 6, because then that means Spurs don't get nothing.
What do you mean? Don't worry. Why is everybody so?
You're the one who's worried.
Everyone's more.
I remember how confident you sounded. Now
everyone's more worried about us than we are.
Yeah, because it's mental health awareness.
That's the issue. I think
we're worried about your LP.
You guys are the only ones not worried about you. And then here we go. It's Spurs hosting Wolves at home, and it's a 2-2 draw with a late Wolves goal. Alan, take it away.
And your boy Sonny missing the PK.
Yeah.
What's going on, Alan? How do you feel?
This is 2024 vibes.
The better Korean showed up.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
That was a very nice strike, though.
It was. It was a nice play overall because it was planned clearly.
Yeah. Again, we can't capitalize on our opportunities. I think this game could have been 5-2 if we would have just finished. Solanke had an opportunity. Like Son had the opportunity to score the penalty. We had a few opportunities in there that we should have put, in the net, and we didn't. And then we ended up paying for it once again. It's the reason I want to say I'm not worried. Not that I'm not worried. I'm worried a little bit. I'm stressed. This team is it doesn't look like we are where we need to be. Including the cup matches, Europa, we started off strong and we kind of fizzled out. So it's a difficult position. And Wolves having them come back, score a late equalizer is just kind of like that cherry on top of how our season has been going. It's hard to think that if we did have our center backs, this wouldn't be the case. And even if we had Ricardo, maybe he was a little bit quicker on his feet. We don't play the way we want to play, and it's showing a lot. We'd like to build from the back, start from the goalkeeper, build up play, and we're just not doing that. We don't have the players to do that. And I don't know if it's throwing off the system, but this is where, it's being questioned whether Ange is the manager that we need, because if you can't adapt to what you have and still come out with the results, like, is this who we need? But at the same time, if you're down, 3 center backs, and your goalkeeper and your whole back line is kind of, and we had Reguilon on. That guy hasn't played for the Spurs in almost 2 years,
Yeah, he was on loan, right? Before this?
Yeah, he went to United.
Spain, I believe.
Spain, and then he went to United and Brentford. But that was what we needed, that we're not needed, but that's who we had to bring on because of Dogie. Same thing. He came off injured. So it's not... We're almost numb to it, and thinking what else. Fraser Forster went down, so we were going to bring in Austin. it was just like, of course, this is what's happening, So when that equalizer went in, it was like, yeah, of course, this is we've been waiting for this. But we were the better team, I think. That second half was a little bit not where we should have been.
That's again, you had to play the full 90 minutes,
right?
And you just slacked off a little bit.
It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm hoping this new year give us back our players. We can finish the season strong, and I think if we get back to what we can be, we're not getting blown out the water. Playing these teams.
What? Oh, okay, those teams. Okay, sorry.
We got blown out once.
Okay.
The only time we've lost with multiple scores is with Liverpool, and we almost made a comeback. But let's not talk about that. You guys aren't ready for that conversation.
So here's a question for you. Because I can understand how frustrating that is. Obviously, we are missing Saka now, but we did have Odegaard back, and we've been having trouble just, as much as we create, we've been having trouble putting the goal in the back of the net. And just recently we started, getting better about that. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus resurrected. But if you had to choose between doing some business in the January window, what do you take care of first, the defense or attacking? Because it seems you're not missing much up top, but you're telling that players are just not putting in the back of the net. So what's lacking?
So honestly, I thought about this the other day, and I was like, man, January transfer window is coming around the corner, and I started looking up what rumors are going on, what's the word on the street. I called up Fabrizio, but he didn't answer.
Yeah, of course not.
And
spamming again.
I don't think we can bring in too many defenders. I don't think it's a very attractive spot, right? Because I'm telling you, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring you in. Maybe a loan. I can see a loan, but I can't see someone being like, hey, we're gonna sign you. Because right now, Romero's out, Van der Ven's out, Ben Davis out, and we got Dragu, who's he kind of got hurt last week, but he's the only leg we're standing on. So if as a defender, I'm like, okay, I'll come on. But then once all these three guys get back healthy, what then? I'm just sitting there waiting for an opportunity, and I don't think that's an attractive position for someone who wants to play in the Premier League. Maybe a loan. So I don't see.
I can see a loan happening.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't think we will be able to attract a big name to come in for that. Maybe in the summer, if we have an exit. But on top, I think Sonny's he's one of the main reasons I follow this team, right? Because when I became a fan, he had just joined the team. It's hard to say, but he's kind of, his one-on-one isn't there anymore. He's aging a little bit.
Age, man.
He's aging.
Yeah.
So I think we do need some help up front. We need creativity, and that's something we don't have. You had mentioned Martinelli being a system player, right? He's becoming that system player, and it's kind of affecting his game. Well, Brandon Johnson's kind of the opposite, where he's successful when he's part of the system, right? But if the system's not there, he can't win that one-on-one, Odegaard, who we had for a few games, he looked like he had some of that creativity, that dribbling that we could have used on the wings. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just, like I said, some of that fatigue, not having a...
But you mentioned fatigue, but don't you think that's falls on Ange?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got to learn to rest his players, maybe not go too much in training and stuff like that. Because if I see you guys are getting a lot of injuries, I'm going to be like, maybe I have to take a look at my tactics, at my workout plans, and try to accommodate, because I can't afford to keep losing my players.
And I do blame him on that, but also blame, the lack of what was done in the January transfer. Like, of bringing these young kids in isn't a bad thing, but look at where we're at now. You're not playing them, you're not starting them, you're starting the same starting 11. You're not bringing them in, so we're paying for that right now. We're paying for that, and I think he addressed it where he needs to bring in veteran players, and he's addressed. I think he brought that up in one of his press conferences, but we'll see. Like I said, the only reason I'm not fully giving up is because the table does look more open than it has in the past, and that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Villa is only they're ninth place and they're only 4 points ahead of us, and that can be in 2 weeks. We can surpass them. If things go the way they are, right? But
I will say that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the only reason is the way that if we were playing like this any other season, top 10 would have been very difficult. But the way the season is right now.
True. Yeah, I get that. I will say, I before the season started, we spoke about this, and you said if we're firing on all cylinders, and if we can stay healthy, and you said you could have pushed for at least second title challenge, and we said that's a big if, right? And I said that's a big if, and you're like, it's not a big if. Well, here you are with one center back who's basically on the verge of getting injured.
I'm surprised.
You have players like Sonny misfiring, and
I was actually surprised Dragu played today. I thought he was going to be out.
But you know what? I will say, I know that's a tough position to be in. So hopefully things happen. Because not to say that I wish the best on Spurs. I don't. But
yes, you do. Say it. Your jersey's on the way. Your jersey's on the way.
You want your little brother to do not better than you, but you know what I mean.
Your stepbrother, at least, But Ange is in like hot water right now. Let's just be honest. He's not getting the results. Do you think if this keeps going like this, you think Ange makes it to next year?
I think so. I think they've kind of.
What do you think is like his saving? What do you think is like a saving grace for him? Like he somehow makes Europe, or what do you think is enough for him to stay next season?
Honestly, I think they've already given him his next season. I think when they bought these younger players and they've kind of gave him the keys, sort of. Well, I don't know if they gave him the keys or not, but I think they collectively thought of a plan and said, yes, we're going to sign all these young kids, because otherwise I don't see what sense it would be, why they would agree to this if this wasn't a long-term plan laid out, Yeah,
but the thing is, you hope you see at least some progression.
Well, I mean,
but when you just see these things,
not
things can change. Like they gave Erik Ten Hagen the contract extension, but then what happened? They sent them packing. So it's.
But I'm saying it's the fact that I think, like I said, we're in a rebuild, a deeper rebuild than like we're scratching off all Mourinho and Conte had brought in. We're not. That was all defensive players that they had brought in, and this big defensive philosophy, counterattacking. We're kind of taking a new turn, and I think we got a little spoiled last year with the results we had. I think we did a lot better than we expected, and we took that. We made that our starting ground, which we shouldn't have. We should have taken that season like, hey, this was a fluke season. We're not this team, And I think right now it's showing. So I think we're not going to get the results this season. I think we're still rebuilding, and I think this plan is a long-term plan. So we're not going to win anything. We're not going to win the league. Let me not say anything. We're not going to win the league this year.
But you guys are in the semifinals, so at least you have a chance to win something.
I think if you grab any sort of silverware, I think your season's saved. And all of a sudden, this doesn't look too bad.
With Eric.
But so there's what? So no one can rebuild?
You said it.
Yes, you said
in this league, rebuilds take one season, and you're not allowed more than that.
We're not allowed that, but
you can rebuild
though. But we're just before we can because the criticism is there,
But it depends if Levy wants to deal with it. Look at the rebuilding process at Man United. They're hoping it's not going to be like this. But I'm guessing
we've been more successful than United in the recent years.
But
have you though? Because they have League Cup, FA Cup.
And that's where we talk about the importance of silverware. Is it really all that important?
Because you guys told me that they've done better than Arteta has at Arsenal. Well, have they really?
Oh, no, did we?
Yeah, you guys said Erik Ten Hag was better than Arteta.
That was
won
more
2 cups.
I think that was more like satire because we're talking about silverware.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do agree. Tottenham has been better the past couple of years in comparison to United, despite. But I think you can still have a rebuild and still win something. Like the EFL Cup is probably the easiest way in, and that's what I said before. I think Ange needs to focus on bringing one cup home. Forget the league. You could try to go for Europe, but if you bring anything home, I think you still have a chance at Europa. I think the EFL Cup, like I said, if you beat Liverpool, get revenge. You clear the baddies. then you go and beat Arsenal. Like that would be huge. People will be talking about this for years if you do that. And you get silverware, you get everyone to shut up. I think that's how you get people to basically let you rebuild in peace.
Yeah, that buys you time.
But that's so impractical. If you're trying to rebuild, if you're winning that means you are rebuilt, you know? But this league is unforgiving. And it's not
necessarily. No, that doesn't mean
that's why I brought
rebuilt.
Manchester United, because they were basically mediocre the past couple of years, and they still grabbed an EFL, they still grabbed an FA Cup. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it kind of buys you, like Ren said, it buys you time for you to be like, oh, well, you know, they're winning things. So, you know, they're you know, a loss of Fulham, a loss of Bournemouth is not too big if you have a cup sitting from the past season. You know what I mean?
I mean, let's be honest. I think that was the reason why Manchester United gave Ertagen that contract extension because, it wasn't good in the season in the Premier League, but he won a trophy over Man City in the final of a cup. So that sort of helps. It did buy him time, but
I think it also helped that he beat City in the final, which was like that was the bigger
your rival. Yes, which everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Was
now you have a chance to beat Arsenal in the final. Like, how massive would that be? I think he's got to focus on bringing something
you gotta beat Newcastle first.
No, first I think.
Well, that's true.
Let's be honest, and then you got to beat Liverpool, which ain't gonna happen. I think you better stick with Europa League, but.
Clip it.
Well,
clip it. Yeah,
what do you mean?
Pat doesn't do the special intros when I win, but
we get the trouble though, right? If we win all the 2 cups in Europa, is that a trouble?
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Alan, you first got to learn how to crawl before you can walk and run, right? One thing at a time.
We run too. That's what it is.
Alan's saying that they're not even born yet.
Yeah, we bust our hammies trying to run. That's what it is. We're in a difficult situation. It's a unique situation because, I mean, look at our goal differentials. Yeah, we're in the bottom 11th, or we're in 11th place, and it's.
But you can score so much.
I think Ange has time. I think was given time from the beginning. I think he has time. He's been our manager for a season and a half. You know, a lot of managers have gotten a lot more time. We'll see. It's like I said, the rest of this season will define what our future.
Got time to fix it somewhat.
Yeah, and more not so much fix it, but analyze what's going on. I think that'll be. Yeah. I don't think he leaves anytime soon. I think he makes it to the end of the season, but if he's wanted after that, we'll have to double check that. I mean, you know, my opinion might even change by then, but we'll see. For now, Engine.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there you go. You see that? Okay. You sound like a true Spurs supporter. Your jersey's on the way.
And then the last game of the day, Sunday, West Ham at home hosting Liverpool, and Liverpool take it with 5 goals. West Ham hit the post about 3 times, couldn't get any. Yeah. And Trent Alexander-Arnold with the celebration, with all the talk in his ear. What's this about?
Yeah,
is that his his agent telling him Madrid?
Yeah, it's just him talking about rumors, about everyone talking about him.
About rumors of him staying.
Agreeing to go to Real Madrid, and he's just like, negative noise, don't worry about it. Don't believe rumors. He'll say what he needs to say when the time comes, but don't believe everything you hear on the internet. And it was good to see him back on the score sheet, which is great. It's just another reason why Liverpool are going to win it this year.
Live it.
We clip it. We win away, and if we win away, we win at home.
Yeah, we all beat West Ham.
But
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, we all beat. What's it called? No, I can't say. Wolves.
Have you played Wolves?
Yeah, we played Wolves. Okay. I think so. I ain't gonna say Forest because we lost the Forest, but it's just showing you that Liverpool, we play away, and those are the hard games to do, and we find a way to win, and we won it comfortably with 5 goals. Mo Salah with a double nutmeg, setting up for the Cody Gakpo's goal. Like I said, Trent getting that goal, Luis Diaz getting another goal. He's keeping his fine form running. Diego Jota, he's getting his minutes coming back from that injury and just scoring another goal. And of course, Mo Salah just keeps on doing what he's doing. He's like wine. He's getting better. This is what you need to do to convince your higher ups that you're worth it. He is.
Is it the higher ups or is it him not signing?
I think he wants the money.
They're the ones who have to talk. I think, like I said,
he wants the Saudi money, but at Liverpool.
Nah, he ain't gonna get Saudi money. He knows, whatever. We don't know what's going on with them.
Listen,
but,
if he wanted to stay, it would have been signed, right, Alan?
If he could, he would.
How many years
if he wanted to, he would.
Did Harry Kane stay at Tottenham?
But then again,
yeah.
If he wanted to stay, he would have signed. Yeah.
But again, they're saying a lot of, like even the Carragher said, they don't talk about this contract stuff right now. They do it a little more at the end, like the second half of the season. This is the thing. Now everyone's talking about it because in January you can sign those pre-contracts. But
because he becomes free agents, right?
Yep.
Or free to sign.
Yeah, become a free agent. Yeah, he'll be free to sign,
in 2 days.
That's up to them. Yeah. So I know everyone's waiting to see what's going to happen.
TikTok.
But I love that he quit talking about that contract and he's letting his work on the field show, and that's like the best way to do it. He's already breaking records. He's in fine form, and the thing about him is he's reliable. Out of the 7 years, he's only missed 10 games due to injury. So you're going to get him. And like I said, you see Ronaldo at like 39 with that physique. You see Mo Salah is the same way. He takes care of his body, and which is why he continues to play at a high level. And it's just good for him. Another assist, another goal. He's just getting more stats, but it was a good showing. And of course, we extend our lead at the top. But we'll see what happens with the Arsenal game that will be played tomorrow. But I just think right now this is like Liverpool's league to lose. And I think the team's on confidence. They're on the high. They're not going to make mistakes that they've done in the past.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. Yeah. But I know we got Joe Gomez who got a little injured.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll jinx it. I'll put in Van Dijk's gonna have to do the heavy lifting, and then hamstring.
I'll put my own Christmas tree up on there on the post. Let's see if the Christmas tree curse goes. But we got injury to Joe Gomez, but I know we got Kwanzaa in the back, and he's been proven before. But we'll see. I think Konate shouldn't be out that long as well. But even Wataru Endo can play defensive back, or we had Ryan Gravenberch play central defender when we had that red card to Andy Robertson. But like I said, Slough will find a way to do it. And if we need to sign someone in the winter window as a loan or something, we'll see. But right now, the team is playing well, as you can see by our position on the table and their goals that we've scored. And I just think we're in fine form. And we deserve to be where we're at because we're getting the results away, home, and that's it.
All right.
Let's see what 2025 brings.
Let's see. And then we start 2025 on this weekend, Saturday, January 4th and Sunday, January 5th. We have a match week 20. All right, so let's do these. Let's go quickly down the line, then we'll do predictions. Spurs against Newcastle.
Spurs at Newcastle?
Yeah. Newcastle. I'm going to go Newcastle too. I don't think that makeshift,
we know where Alan's going.
Backline's going to be able to keep up with.
You know what?
With Isak, who's on form right now.
For once, I might have to agree.
Okay.
But it's
He's prioritizing the mini league now.
Today, because this starts 2025. Spurs win this. They pull it out their butts. Let's go.
All right. Villa at home against Leicester.
Villa.
Yeah, Villa.
Bournemouth at home hosting Everton.
Tie.
Another good game.
It's a tie.
Oh,
I'm going to go Bernie.
Burn, yeah.
Crystal Palace at home hosting Chelsea.
Ooh.
I can see Crystal Palace pulling out a win, honestly.
I'm going to go draw.
Yeah, let's do draw.
1-1.
No, Chelsea, because I needed them to catch up. No, draw. Let's draw.
Wishful thinking. You're going to jinx it.
Yeah, that's right.
He's jinxed it. They've been jinxed already.
Manchester City at home hosting West Ham.
I think West Ham. I'm going West Ham.
You know what?
City.
Draw.
I'm going to go City. I think they take it.
I think I draw.
Southampton at home hosting Brentford.
Brentford
2-1.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Brighton at home hosting Arsenal. Is this the revenge tour for that weird red card? Is this the revenge tour?
Yep.
Brighton,
I
I
think Brighton's
believe.
gonna take this one.
Nah, Arsenal,
Yeah,
baby.
they're at home.
10-0.
But for Brighton, heard.
Then we go to Sunday, Fulham at home hosting Ipswich.
Fulham 2,
Fulham.
2-0
Fulham.
because they can actually score.
All right, and then Liverpool at home hosting Manchester United. Manchester United.
So they're serious.
Respect.
Respect.
Good luck. But not this
Come
Man
on,
United,
United.
respect. Maybe Man United of old, but it's got to be Liverpool. Who else?
All right. and then Wolves Nottingham.
I'm going to go. I think Wolves take it.
Well, I think Wolves do
Wolves.
too. I think they take it at home.
Wolves. Oh! Sorry, Nuno. You're going to have a rude homecoming.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into predictions. So we're going to start with top Saturday, Spurs at home hosting Newcastle. Alan.
All right. This is a 5:30 game for me, so hopefully I don't wake up for nothing. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs over Newcastle.
Wishful thinking, like every other game
Isaac
we've had.
is going to be our biggest threat, but I think we could bring it to him as
What
well.
defender is going to cover him?
They're not going to have the ball, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I think you're right. I think they're not going to have the ball, but I think the counter's there.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. All right. Well, so moving on to Brighton at home hosting Arsenal, and I am going to go with a 1 for Brighton, 2 for Arsenal. Gonna be a hard one, but I think we'll take it. And then we'll move on to the highlight game of the week, and we'll start with Randy. Liverpool at home hosting Manchester United Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Respect.
I don't know, man. I think it's going to. I just want to get it right once. My score line, and of course Liverpool's going to win. I'll say 3-0.
3-0.
1 Arsenal corner.
To Liverpool. Good luck. 3 Mo Salah penalties.
I feel like United are gonna get a penalty and they're not gonna score it.
So that's how bad they are. And it's good. It should be Bruno wouldn't be playing that game anyway. So I just don't think they're gonna have it. It's gonna be Liverpool's.
Oh yeah, I forgot
playing at
Bruno's
home.
not there.
We're in the best of form right now, and Man U is still
Watch
struggling.
them play better without Bruno. I'm gonna jinx it. I'm gonna say Liverpool 4, United 0.
Ooh.
I was thinking of 4, man. I just because we passed 5 against West Ham. I think Onana might play it well, but we'll see.
Just because I want to be right.
You want Liverpool to win so you can get up to your 7th place or whatever.
I'm gonna do a 2-2 draw. I think you're gonna win, but I don't want you to win, so that's why I'm gonna put that in
But you want to get points in the mini league, don't you?
next year.
Or you're just basically cashed out. You're basically, I ain't winning shit this season.
Don't worry. If I get right, if I get this right, that means I cash out. Nobody gets points on the highlight game,
All right.
and I make my moves, right?
All right.
Moves back down the table.
Hey, Onana might block all those penalties. Who knows?
Who knows?
No, I said Onana might, but we'll see.
Who
We'll see.
knows? Think about it. You sure you want a final answer, Randy?
My final answer is still 3-0.
Okay.
Liverpool
Okay.
winning.
All right.
All right, so now we move on to the mini league. I get a point for the Arsenal win. Nothing else, but I do have a game pending, which is this Wednesday. So I'm currently sitting in first with 26 points. Alan's sitting third. He could just get a point for the highlight game of the week. Sitting third with 12, and then Randy gets 2 points for both the highlight game and the Liverpool game. So he's sitting currently with 21 points right behind me. So lots of games to go over. Lots of games still left. Anything can happen. Whole half of the season left. Alan, you want to close it out?
And that's an episode. Thank you for tuning in to Rivals on the Pitch. Make sure you check out our content on Rivals on the Pitch on Instagram. Like our content, share our podcast, download. It will be greatly appreciated. And if you want to bring in some of your input, it will be very much appreciated. We like the dialogue. Hopefully you guys have a good new year, and we'll see you guys next year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Let's keep this going, guys.
I'm Alan.
I'm Pat.
And I'm Randy.
Go Spurs.